Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So a few weeks ago I put out a video talking about mental health, my mental health, and how it affected me in my career. And I just felt like it was such a real video of just me sitting on the couch and talking about the reality of my life. And I want to do more videos like that. I think that it's important that my channel kind of grows with me and with what I'm doing in my life. So every once in a while I want to do these real talk segments where I just talk to you about things that are on my mind and things that are real in my life. Let's see how many times I can say real in this video. In the last video I do feel like I covered a lot but didn't go very in depth with each thing because otherwise it would have been a long video. One thing I briefly touched on is going through depression and still dealing with that. And one of the things that really led me there was struggling to find a path in life in general, which I think is something that a lot of people can relate to. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about my experience and things that helped me along the way, I guess, in hopes that if you're struggling with that, you can feel heard and hopefully get something out of this. So let's get into the rest of the video. So if you watched my previous video, I did talk a lot about my career and how I got here. When I was an undergrad, I did switch my major officially twice, but almost like 3 to 4 times, I guess, in that period. And I knew that I wanted to help people, but I knew that I also was scared of going into a career that wasn't as structured, or even, I guess more so, the path to get there wasn't structured. That scared me, and in part I feel like that is the reason why I landed on psychology. And then after I graduated from undergrad, it was right during COVID, and I had just moved to Chicago with my now fiance, Damick, and I was further away from home. We didn't really have any friends and couldn't really make any friends because no one was going out or doing anything. I had a job, like a part-time job, that I didn't necessarily love. During that time in my life was also when I experienced a lot of familial loss. And then I was also just deciding what it was that I wanted to do with my life. At the time, I really thought like therapy, that's my route, that's what I want to be. However, I also knew that I really wanted to go to online school, so I looked into pretty much only online programs. I also didn't know where Damick and I would be. I didn't know we'd end up staying in Chicago, so I wanted it to be somewhat flexible. I also needed to find an online program that also offered a path to licensure, because not all of them do. I applied to like 3 or 4 schools, I can't even remember now, and ultimately I landed on Pepperdine being the best option, or so I thought at the time. However, it was extremely expensive and a long program, and I wasn't entirely certain that that's what I wanted to do, so it seemed like a lot of money and a lot of time to spend when I wasn't even sure. And I kind of went through this like quarter life crisis where I was like, if I don't do this, like if I don't go through with getting this master's, what am I gonna do? I don't have another option, or this is how I felt at the time. Everything that I had done in college, every job, every internship was really just preparing me for this. And I had a psychology major, so was pretty broad, like maybe I could have gone into like HR or marketing or whatever, but I didn't really have any experience in that. So pretty much it almost felt like in a way I would be starting from scratch if I didn't pursue this. I also really knew that if I went into a job where I wasn't working with people or helping people in some way, I knew that I wouldn't be fulfilled, which is what led me to the decision to go to Pepperdine. When I first started at Pepperdine, like my first semester or even 2 were okay. I mean, I enjoyed, for the most part, the classes and my professors and the people, like my peers. I made a really good friend, shout out to you, Sharika, at that program that I still am very close with today, and she really helped like get me through the rest of the program. So I am grateful for that, because we probably wouldn't have met if we both didn't go to that school. But as I got into the program, there were a lot of problems, a lot of setbacks. If you want to know more about the specifics of that, I filmed plenty of videos talking about Pepperdine. And I think leading up to that, I was starting to kind of regret my decision and not feeling the best about myself. Especially when I watched my loans building, I started to place my worth as a person on the money I had, which doesn't make sense because that's never something that I've really done in the past. I mean, I've always worked like minimum wage jobs, lived like paycheck to paycheck kind of thing, so I never even had like a lot of money. But something just really shifted in me, and that feeling of regret and feeling like I was just didn't make a good decision, was not smart, was starting to weigh really heavily on me. The last year of the program, you're supposed to complete a practicum, and one of the main reasons I chose Pepperdine is because they help you find this practicum site. That experience was very, very difficult. Again, I filmed a video talking all about that, so you can watch that video for specifics. And long story short, I did end up finding a practicum very last minute, like almost the last possible second I could have found one in order to like stay on track in the program. But getting there was just not good. It really put me in a dark place, because at that point it was a question of if I would even be able to finish the program without moving to pretty much California. There are Pepperdine students in various states over the US, but like almost every out-of-state student was really struggling, mainly just because all the practicums had to meet the criteria that California had, which most states don't, because California is stricter. I didn't have the means or the resources to just pick up and move to California for a year, so that wasn't an option for me. It was also a time where I didn't have anything else, in the sense of like I didn't have a job that I could focus my energy into. School was school. I had things in my personal life that I was struggling with. I got to a point where I really was just focusing on me and my problems, which definitely contributed to me getting to a more unhealthy headspace. And I was just very low for quite a few months. Even things that I used to enjoy, I couldn't anymore. I pretty much just cried every day. I cried every event or anything that I would go to, I would just cry. And I think a lot of people just thought that I was being emotional or dramatic, and I really didn't share with many people what was really happening in my head. I think that the stuff that I was going through was just so vulnerable, and I didn't know who I could trust with that information. After I began my practicum, it started getting a little bit better. However, it felt like that empty feeling was never fully gone. Like, it could be filled for a while, but it was always something that I could go back to, or I didn't want to go back there, but it was inevitable kind of thing. When graduation was approaching again, I really had another quarter life crisis of what is it that I really want to do. I knew I liked something in the realm of therapy and, as I've said, helping people, but I still to this day cannot explain to you what has put me off therapy and kind of partially that career field so much. I think it was just having such a bad experience at Pepperdine, feeling so unsupported, and then, you know, having those mental health issues at that time. It's like almost like my brain associates like doing therapy with that time, but I don't know. As I said, I still cannot fully explain it. Luckily, at the site that I was doing my practicum, a job opened up that didn't require me to do full-time therapy, and I took it, and I'm doing a lot better now, personally, career-wise, emotionally. That being said, though, I think I am still searching for what my like real passions in life are. I love my job, I love the company I work for. Could I see myself staying here long term? Maybe. I think my main hesitations are just, you know, growth and what is it that I really want to do. Hopefully as time goes on, I kind of narrow that down, figure that out. Is that something that I would be able to pursue here? Also, I don't think I'll be in Illinois forever, so there's that aspect of it. And I'm very much like a planner. I'm always thinking of what's next, what's the next step, where am I going to go in 5 years, 10 years, you know, where am I going to be at these points in my life. And I can actually say that this is probably the first time in my life that I've been okay with not knowing that. I guess that would be one of my tips for those of you who are just in a place where you're just struggling to know what it is you want to do with your life, and maybe feeling like you don't know if there is anything for you. Work on in therapy or with your friends, family, even just talking with yourself to get yourself to a point of it's okay not knowing that. And it has taken off a lot from like a weight on my shoulders of just not having to constantly worry about that. I'd say one of my bigger struggles now is just looking at the past and learning how to leave the past in the past. And I think that we're all just constantly on a journey, and that there's never going to be a point where I'm like, yeah, I'm great at everything and I'm doing amazing, no issues. And I think that realizing that like that's also okay, because through all of that, as long as I am putting in the effort to continuously learn from the things I'm doing and grow as a person, better myself as a person, then I'm also bettering, I guess, the world in a way, because the knowledge that you have and how you're responding to people can, you know, rub off on them. And another thing is like really putting in a conscious effort to not let myself feel that emptiness. It was actually just a few months ago that I was talking to my therapist about how I don't like look forward to things as much as I used to. I don't get like those like excitement butterflies in my stomach. I feel like I just enjoy things less, like I don't take as much out of it when I leave. And I'd say just within the past month or so, I've really been able to challenge my energy into things that matter more, and searching for what I need from certain people or certain situations and taking that away, and channeling your energy into things that are actually healthy for you. A part of it is just learning how to enjoy life and like the stages that you're in. Because I have that planning OCD part of me, that contributed to always wanting to know what was next. Another part is my sisters are 10 and 11 years older than me, and I think, you know, in part you just like always want to be like your older siblings, but they were like so much older that I was always trying to be a teenager when I was a kid, and then trying to be a college student when I was a teenager, and then trying to be an adult when I was a college student. And I was never just living in the moment and actually enjoying the stage of life that I was in. And now I'm just really trying to do that. So for those of you who are in a growing period of your life right now and it feels difficult, just know that you're not alone. Especially nowadays, I think there's so many people who are going through that and who are willing to say, you know, I'm not happy with this type of lifestyle though, like I want more for myself. And that's not a bad thing. It doesn't make you lazy, it doesn't make you incapable, it makes you human. And inevitably, when you are comparing yourself to other people and saying, well, this person's in this stage of their life and I'm not, that person had their own struggles to get there. That person currently has their own struggles. It just might not be the ones that you're seeing and not the ones that you're focusing on. And I genuinely think that we as people are happier and more satisfied when we're doing things for others. Finding a balance between focusing on yourself and working on yourself, making sure that you are recognizing your feelings, your emotions, your reactions, using those to grow, while also channeling your energy into something other than yourself. It sounds kind of contradicting, but when you start doing it, when you start changing your thought processes and putting it into action, you'll notice a significant shift. And I promise you, it'll feel good and freeing, and you will start to learn to love yourself again. I appreciate you guys watching these videos and caring about my life. And if you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more future videos, please hit that subscribe button below. I look forward to putting out more real talk videos in the future, whatever they may be. I wish you continued self-growth, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.